Good evening. You're watching News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Before we go over to the headlines, Rajya Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Always wear face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and also maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now let's get to the headlines. Budget session of Parliament begins. In joint address to both houses, President Ramnath Kovind asserts that agricultural reform laws were passed only after extensive consultations. Terms violence during farmers' tractor rally on Republic Day unfortunate. Timely decisions by the government saved millions of lives during COVID pandemic. President Kovind commends contributions of people from all walks of life in containing the virus. The 253rd session of the Rajya Sabha begins. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu pays obituary references. Also remembers contributions of members past and present who passed away recently. Economic survey projects 11% growth rate in financial year 2021-22. Emphasizes labour and export-oriented policies to increase employment. And on the first Parliament session of the decade, Prime Minister Modi expresses confidence that members of Parliament will fully utilise the occasion to fulfil people's aspirations. Calls the decade a golden opportunity for India to realise dreams of its freedom fighters. The budget session of Parliament began on Friday with President Ramnath Kovind's address to a joint sitting of both houses. The President's speech focused on various issues, starting with the ongoing pandemic and then going on also to the farm laws. Strongly defending the three reform agricultural laws, the President condemned the Republic Day violence during the farmers' tractor rally on the 26th of January. Due to COVID-19 guidelines, for the first time in history, parliamentarians heard the President's budget speech from three places, the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha and also the Central Hall of Parliament. Here's a report with all the highlights of the President's speech. Addressing both houses of Parliament, President Ramnath Kovind said, Indian agriculture needs to focus on 10 crore small and marginal farmers who form 80% of its workforce. He said the government has prioritized these small and marginal farmers, even as it is creating modern agricultural infrastructure.
इन कृषि सुधारों का सबसे बड़ा लाभ भी 10 करोड़ से अधिक छोटे किसानों को तुरंत मिलना शुरू हुआ। लोकतंत्र और संविधान की मर्यादा को सर्वोपरि रखने वाली मेरी सरकार इन कानूनों के संदर्भ में पैदा किए गए भ्रम को दूर करने का निरंतर प्रयास कर रही है। लेकिन पिछले दिनों हुआ तिरंगे और गणतंत्र दिवस जैसे पवित्र दिन का अपमान बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। इन कृषि सुधारों के जरिए सरकार ने किसानों को नई सुविधाएं उपलब्ध कराने के साथ साथ नए अधिकार भी दिए हैं। कृषि को और लाभकारी बनाने के लिए मेरी सरकार आधुनिक कृषि इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर भी विशेष ध्यान दे रही है। इसके लिए 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए के एग्रीकल्चर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड की शुरुआत की गई है। On the pandemic, the President said timely decisions by the centre had saved lives of lakhs of Indians. He informed members that new coronavirus cases were going down rapidly. कोरोना महामारी के इस समय में जब दुनिया का प्रत्येक व्यक्ति, हर देश इससे प्रभावित हुआ, आज भारत एक नए सामर्थ्य के साथ दुनिया के सामने उभर कर आया है। मुझे संतोष है कि मेरी सरकार के समय पर लिए गए सटीक फैसलों से लाखों देशवासियों का जीवन बचा है। आज देश में कोरोना के नए मरीजों की संख्या भी तेज़ी से घट रही है और जो संक्रमण से ठीक हो चुके हैं उनकी संख्या भी बहुत अधिक है।
Against the backdrop of China's aggression in eastern Ladakh, the president said the government is vigilant. He added that additional forces have been deployed on the line of actual control to protect the sovereignty of the country.
LAC पर द्विपक्षीय संबंधों और समझौताओं को दरकिनार करते हुए शांति भंग करने की कोशिश की गई, लेकिन हमारे सुरक्षा बलों ने न केवल पूरी सजगता, शक्ति और हौसले के साथ इन षड्यंत्रों का मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया, बल्कि सीमा पर यथास्थिति बदलने के सभी प्रयासों को भी नाकाम किया। हमारे जाबाजों ने जिस संयम, शौर्य और पराक्रम का परिचय दिया, उसकी जितनी भी सराहना की जाए कम है। जून 2020 में हमारे 20 जवानों ने मातृभूमि की रक्षा के लिए गलवान घाटी में अपना सर्वोच्च बलिदान भी दिया। हर देशवासी इन शहीदों का कृतज्ञ है।
President Kovind asserted that the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is not just confined to manufacturing, but it is a campaign to improve living standards of every Indian, while boosting the self-confidence of the country.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत का हमारा लक्ष्य आत्मनिर्भर कृषि से और सशक्त होगा। इसी सोच के साथ सरकार ने बीते 6 वर्षों में बीज से लेकर बाजार तक हर व्यवस्था में सकारात्मक परिवर्तन का प्रयास किया है, ताकि भारतीय कृषि आधुनिक भी बने और कृषि का विस्तार भी हो। इन्हीं प्रयासों के क्रम में मेरी सरकार ने स्वामीनाथन आयोग की सिफारिशों को लागू करते हुए लागत से 1.5 गुना MSP देने का फैसला भी किया। मेरी सरकार आज न सिर्फ MSP पर रिकॉर्ड मात्रा में खरीद कर रही है, बल्कि खरीद केंद्रों की संख्या को भी बढ़ा रही है। काम किया जा रहा है।
The first part of the budget session will continue till 15th February, while the second part will be between 8th of March to 8th of April. The Union Budget will be presented on Monday, the 1st of February. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. In his remarks before the commencement of Parliament's budget session, Prime Minister Modi said it is the first session of the new decade and emphasized that the new decade is very important for the bright future of the country. He also said Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had to give 4 to 5 mini budgets in the form of packages in the year 2020 and expressed confidence that the upcoming budget would also be seen as a part of that series.
इस दशक का भरपूर उपयोग हो और इसलिए इस सत्र में इस पूरे दशक को ध्यान में रखते हुए चर्चाएं हो, सभी प्रकार के विचारों की प्रस्तुति हो और उत्तम मंथन से उत्तम अमृत प्राप्त हो, ये देश की अपेक्षाएं हैं। मुझे विश्वास है कि जिस आशा और अपेक्षा के साथ देश के कोटि-कोटि जनों ने हम सबको संसद में भेजा है, हम संसद के इस पवित्र स्थान का भरपूर उपयोग करते हुए लोकतंत्र की सभी मर्यादाओं का पालन करते हुए जन आकांक्षाओं की पूर्ति के लिए अपने योगदान में पीछे नहीं रहेंगे, ये मुझे पूरा विश्वास है। सभी सांसद इस सत्र को और अधिक उत्तम बनाएंगे, ये मेरा पूरा विश्वास है।
The 253rd session of Rajya Sabha commenced on Friday with the President's address to the joint session of Parliament. The upper house met at 3 p.m. and transacted formal business. The Economic Survey 2020-21 was also tabled. Here's a report.
The 253rd session of Rajya Sabha began on Friday. The copy of the President's address was tabled.
Time permission, I rise to lay on the table a copy in English and Hindi of the President's address to both the Houses of Parliament assembled together on the 29th of January 2021.
The Secretary General also tabled a statement showing the bills passed by the Houses of Parliament during the previous session of the Rajya Sabha and assented to by the President.
Time permission, I rise to lay on the table a copy in English and Hindi of the President's address to both the Houses of Parliament assembled together on the 29th of January 2021.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tabled the copy of Economic Survey 2020-21.
With your permission, I wish to lay on the table a copy in English and in Hindi of the Economic Survey 2020-2021, Volume 1 and 2.
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs V. Muralidharan tabled the copies of ordinances promulgated by the President during the intervening period.
Sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table under subclause A of clause 2 of Article 123 of the Constitution, a copy each in English and Hindi of the following ordinances. 1. The Commission for Air Quality Management in National Capital Region and Adjoining Areas Ordinance 2020, number 13 of 2020, promulgated by the President on the 28th of October 2020. 2. The Arbitration and Conciliation Amendment Ordinance 2020, number 14 of 2020, promulgated by the President on the 4th of November 2020. 3. The National Capital Territory of Delhi Laws, Special Provisions, Second Amendment, Ordinance 2020, number 15 of 2020, promulgated by the President on the 30th of December 2020. And as for the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Amendment Ordinance 2021, number 1 of 2021, promulgated by the President on the 7th of January 2021.
Reports of the Committee on Public Undertakings and Parliamentary Standing Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment were also tabled.
I rise to lay on the table a copy is in Hindi and English of the 14th report of the Standing Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment on the maintenance and welfare of parents and senior citizens Amendment Bill 2019.
Chairman adjourned the House till Monday. The House will reassemble 1 hour after the presentation of the Union Budget.
The sitting of the Rajya Sabha will be after 1 hour of the conclusion of the presentation of Union Budget in the Lok Sabha on Monday, the 1st February 2021. The House stands adjourned to 1st February.
Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu told members on Friday that unlike the previous session, no fixed seat or division number has been allotted to individual members. The number of seats for each party at the 3 different places has been fixed as per their numerical strength for allocation to members by their respective parties. More details of the seating arrangements this time in this report.
On the first day of budget session of Parliament, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu told members they need to raise their hands, introduce themselves and announce the place from where they are speaking before taking part in a discussion so that they can be identified easily. Members have been permitted to speak while staying seated.
May kindly note that the normal seating arrangement with fixed seat divisions has been dispensed with this session as was done in the previous session. The number of seats for each party at different places, that is Rajya Sabha Chamber, Rajya Sabha Galleries and Lok Sabha Chamber have been fixed as per their numerical strength for allocation amongst their members by the respective parties.
In view of the need to maintain social distancing norms, the sitting of Rajya Sabha during budget session will be held in Rajya Sabha Chamber, Rajya Sabha Galleries and the Lok Sabha Chamber. 57 members will be seated in Rajya Sabha Chamber, 51 members in the Rajya Sabha Galleries and remaining 132 members will be seated in Lok Sabha Chamber. The total strength of the upper house stands at 240 with 5 vacancies. Members have been requested to avoid touching common contact points and use their own pen whenever required, wear masks and also use hand sanitizers. They have to follow physical distancing norms of 6 feet in the Parliament House estate. Hand sanitizers will be available at all prominent locations in the Parliament House. Kriti Mishra's report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The upper house on Friday mourned the death of 3 sitting members, Ramvilas Paswan, Ahmed Patel and Abhay Bharadwaj. Members also paid tributes to 11 former members who passed away in the intervening period between the last and the current session of Parliament. The House also remembered renowned playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam.
When the House met for the day, Chairman Naidu read out an obituary reference for sitting members Ramvilas Paswan, Ahmed Patel and Abhay Bharadwaj and remembered their contributions.
A champion of the oppressed and marginalized, Sri Paswanji worked assiduously for the upliftment of the poor, downtrodden and dispossessed. Soft-spoken and dignified in his conduct, he was known for his approachability and extending assistance to the needy and vulnerable, irrespective of their affiliations. Sri Patelji was actively involved in various public welfare activities, including drought relief in Gujarat during the late 80s, and played a proactive role in setting up the Narmada Management Authority to monitor the Sardar Sarovar project. In the passing away of Sri Abhay Bharadwaj, the country lost an eminent lawyer and an able parliamentarian.
The chairman also condoled the demise of former members Jaswant Singh, Saida Anwara Taimur, Rashid Masood, Keshubhai Patel, Bhagirathi Majhi, Kailash Narayan Sarang, Motilal Vora, Madhav Singh Solanki, Kamal Morarka, B.S. Gyan Desikan and Ramji Lal.
And 11 of our former members, namely Sri Jaswant Singh Ji, Srimati Saida Anwar Taimur Ji, Sri Rashid Masood Ji, Sri Keshubhai S. Patel Ji, Sri Bhagirathi Majhi Ji, Sri Kailash Narayan Sarang Ji, Sri Motilal Vora Ji, Sri Madhav Singh Solanki Ji, Sri Kamal Morarka Ji, Sri B.S. Jnanadeshkan Ji, Sri Ramji Lal Ji, and Sri S.P. Balasubramaniam, a renowned playback singer, have left us for their heavenly abode.
Members also observed silence as a mark of respect to the memory of the departed souls. Kriti Mishra's report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tabled the Economic Survey 2021-22 in both Houses of Parliament on Friday. The survey details the state of the economy ahead of the Union Budget for the fiscal year beginning the 1st of April 2021. The survey has projected GDP growth for the next financial year at 11%. Authored by a team led by Chief Economic Advisor K.V. Subramanian, it also suggested that the growth recovery will be driven by government consumption. While stating that the GDP for the current financial year is estimated to contract by 7.7%, it added that nominal GDP for the next fiscal is expected to grow at 15.4%. The Economic Survey gave a detailed analysis of India's V-shaped economic recovery after the shadow effect of the coronavirus pandemic. It said that the mega vaccination drive supports the V-shaped recovery. The survey also highlighted that India's stringent lockdown strategy prevented 37 lakh COVID-19 cases and 1 lakh deaths. The survey reiterated that the agriculture sector was the silver lining in the growth trajectory during these stressed times. It also said contact-based services like manufacturing and construction plunged sharply due to the pandemic. The survey called for more active counter-cyclical fiscal policies while emphasizing the need for fiscal responsibility. It also acknowledged that the healthcare sector has taken center stage in the economy.
With your permission, I wish to lay on the table a copy in English and in Hindi of the Economic Survey 2020-2021, Volume 1 and 2.
And Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla chaired an all-party meeting at the Parliament House complex on the first day of the budget session on Friday. The Speaker requested leaders of all political parties in the Lok Sabha to respect the dignity of the House and also sought their cooperation for the smooth conduct of proceedings in the House. The Speaker also requested members to respect the dignity of the customary presidential address. He assured that all members will be given sufficient opportunity to express their views on all issues, including the matters related to the budget as per the existing rules of the House.
हमने सभी राजनीतिक दलों के नेताओं से चर्चा की है, सबसे ये अपेक्षाएं की है कि सदन सुचारू रूप से चले, व्यवस्थित चले, हम अपने संवैधानिक दायित्वों को भी पूरा करें और संसद की मर्यादा को बना रखें। सभी राजनीतिक दलों ने आश्वस्त किया है कि हम सदन की कार्रवाई निर्बाध चलाने में सहयोग करेंगे।
The Lok Sabha Speaker also chaired a meeting of the Business Advisory Committee on Friday. In the meeting, the committee decided to allocate 10 hours for motion of thanks on the President's address. Another 10 hours have been allocated to discussion on the budget. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will speak on the President's address on the 5th of February. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has called a meeting of leaders of all political parties in the upper house on Sunday. In the meeting, Rajya Sabha Chairman will hold discussions with the leaders regarding smooth functioning of the budget session and also to build consensus. The government has also convened an all-party meeting on the 30th of this month to seek support of political parties to ensure smooth conduct of business in both houses, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The meeting will be held virtually and will be chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is all set to present the Union Budget 2021-22 on the 1st of February. This time it is going to be completely paperless in the wake of the ongoing pandemic. The government has launched the Union Budget mobile app for all Budget 2021 related documents that will be made available after the Finance Minister's speech in Lok Sabha. The app will provide easy and hassle-free access to all budget-related information and documents to key stakeholders, the members of parliament, the media persons, and also the general public. Moving on, let's now take a look at the COVID-19 situation in the country. Over 33 lakh healthcare workers have been vaccinated for COVID-19 across the country so far. On Friday, more than 4,40,000 people were inoculated with COVID-19 doses across 10,061 sessions. In all, 62,939 vaccine sessions have been held across India so far. The centre has asked all states and union territories to initiate vaccination of frontline workers starting the first week of February. A nationwide COVID-19 vaccination drive underway since the 16th of January aims to cover healthcare and frontline workers in the first phase. Meanwhile, India reported 18,855 new infections of coronavirus in the past 24 hours, taking the nationwide tally to over 1.7 crore. The country's active cases have dropped to 1,71,000, comprising now of only about 1.6% of the total positive cases. 163 deaths were reported in the same period as well. The death toll due to the disease has reached 1,54,010 since the outbreak of the pandemic. With the 20,746 recoveries also reported in the last 24 hours, India's total recoveries have crossed 1.3 crore. The national recovery rate has further improved to 96.96%. Talking about tests now, over 7,40,000 samples were tested on Thursday itself. And with this, India has tested over 19.5 crore samples so far. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called India's vaccine production capacity one of the world's best assets. Lauding India's COVID-19 vaccine assistance to other nations, the UN chief has expressed hope that India will play a major role in the global coronavirus vaccination campaign.
We strongly hope that India will have all the instruments that are necessary to play a major role in making sure that a global vaccination campaign becomes possible. I think that the production capacity of India is one of the best assets the world has today, and I hope the world understands that it must be fully used.
Responding to the UN chief's remark, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that the world can count on India to help overcome the COVID-19 challenge. India has gifted over 55 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines to its neighboring countries since the 20th of January. In some other news, a minor IED blast took place outside the Israeli embassy in New Delhi on Friday. Fortunately, no one was injured in the incident. According to the police, some cars were damaged in the blast, adding that 3 fire tenders were rushed to the embassy on APJ Abdul Kalam Road in the national capital. The beating retreat ceremony, which marks the culmination of the 4-day-long Republic Day celebrations, took place on Friday at the historic Vijay Chowk. There were over 26 performances by the bands of the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force, as well as the Central Armed Police Forces in the ceremony. It was graced by President Ram Nath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Flags were lowered at dusk and Rashtrapati Bhavan, North Block, South Block and the Parliament House were lit up simultaneously, marking the beating the retreat ceremony. Let's take a look. And before we leave, Rajya Sabha TV once again appeals to all its viewers to continue to take precautions to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember to wear your face masks, wash your hands and face regularly, and also maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the ongoing pandemic. Take care of yourselves and your families. Good night. Thank you for your time.